Cheerful whistling. Two round ears taking shape across the flash of yellow pages. A black, flickering screen with an unmistakable mouse driving a steamboat. This intro never failed to make my heart leap, and I have no doubt you have all felt the same thrill, whether it was from watching drawings come to life, as in my case, or engaging in your own favorite activities. Animations, drawings, art. That was what made up my childhood. I remember drawing circles over and over in an attempt to draw my favorite character, bounding over to my mother happily when I finally finished a satisfactory piece. From a young age, I loved watching Disney movies and all types of animations, marveling at their smooth movements and intricate, nostalgic stories. I dreamed of being admitted into the Disney company one day, and designing characters young children would come to love. Now, this seemingly immutable spirit, however, was quickly quelled when I shared my dreams of becoming an artist with my friends. I was met with confused glances, mouths forming words of how I would likely starve to death in a small room in the middle of nowhere. Several similar remarks convinced me to leave drawing as a hobby, not a serious whim. I started looking for other jobs then. Even now, when I look through my old stuff, I can find portraits of myself in white lab coats or holding a syringe. Efforts on my part to find a job that would finally earn me some pats on the back. As I had always been surrounded by people telling me how art could not be considered a serious branch of study to pursue in life, I felt that I needed to incorporate different aspects into my passion. Finding things that I could incorporate into the main theme of arts was a lifelong struggle for me. And sometimes, I wondered whether my passions were worth so little that something else had to be there to support it and potentially make me a person with value. As a society that reveres STEM and considers artistry and culture professions suitable for those who are wealthy enough, people who simply like art are forced to question their passions. Our society has a weird tendency to equate success with simple materialistic income or societal approval, when it may be that although a person has secured a successful job, they may not be happy as they were forced to select their profession. In this context, we should reconsider the meaning of art in our lives. Although art is looked down upon compared to other professions, art is ingrained into our everyday lives. Art is normally associated with large canvases seen at museums or art galleries, but that is but a small part in art. Most people don't realize how much art is tucked into every corner of our lives and how much we rely on it. Whether it acts as an atmosphere brightener, as a nicely patterned piece of furniture, or shows itself through the wallpaper of your favorite cafe. Art is a part of our lives that is in most times taken for granted. Art doesn't just surround humans, it's a part of humans that has made itself visible through the red smeared strokes on prehistoric caves or ancient characters in old scripts. Art is a form of expression understandable in diverse cultures and situations, as it is a universal language, one that appeals to the heart. Therefore, it really does not make sense that we consider art shallow. The misconceptions about art being less important than any other profession, I think, were magnified as technology advanced and science started playing a role in making life more comfortable. As people struggled to catch up with the latest inventions and find jobs in the technology industry, artistic expression had no choice but to be pushed down the importance scale. Now, I understand this as I too have faced difficulties managing my passions with schoolwork and exams. Art does feel like a luxury when you're focused on things that society pushes at you, insisting they are important for your future. Although you mustn't let everything go to pursue the arts and find self-expression, I think in order to find and discover what you like, what you dislike, your current state, your hopes, and overall who you are, you should do art. Doing art in this context doesn't mean you should start buying canvases and procuring oil paints to be the next Michelangelo, but simply finding styles or colors you like. I believe once a person understands what they like, they will naturally try to seek it or depict it themselves. You may not be an artist, but you just might find yourself sketching patterns into corners of papers or notebooks, or associating yourself with a particular color. Basically, finding yourself and understanding who you are. Now, I want to discuss our current situation. Although I have just emphasized the meaning of art and the importance of it, art seems to be in a very awkward and precarious position as AI proves excellent in creating high-quality, affordable art in a matter of seconds. In 2022, many AI models were introduced, and critics proclaimed the demise of art and creativity. Until then, the ability to create art and express imagination in the form of art were considered uniquely human acts. But now, these ideologies were coming to be questioned. As generative AI came to light, many artists naturally felt threatened. However, amongst initial reactions, some asserted that AI would not spell the end of art. I too believe that the increase of AI-generated images will only heighten our sense of appreciation for handcrafted beauty, emphasizing that AI lacks the element of growth. Unlike AI, which produces images in the blink of an eye, a human artist's journey to create a piece of art is marked by countless failures, as well as successes, each contributing to the final masterpiece. You may have heard of this artwork called Space Opera Theater, a piece drawn by an AI which won a prize in a contest. It was considered unfair and unjust that a piece drawn by a non-human win. And although there is an irreparable barrier between the capabilities of AI and humans realistically, I believe the branches in art can grow during this time. There can be jobs majoring in supplying the right prompts to AI to create ideal images, or jobs that specialize in refining AI-generated images to create better images to better suit consumer needs. The future, although different than before, contains many possibilities. For those of you who use Instagram, you may have noticed that you can label as made with AI. Changes like this will surely support artists out there as we all find ways in which we can coexist. While only time will reveal if art is truly dead, there are definitive measures to preserve its significance. I believe we should stop creating divides between professions. Although I mentioned previously that I despaired at having to prove myself by incorporating another aspect into my love for arts, I quickly came to realize that integrating another field of study doesn't make me a person desperate to prove the world of my value, but a person who is able to show their many capabilities. After all, no one profession requires only that profession, but needs other specialties as well. Creating applications, for instance, requires professional knowledge about computers and programming, but aspects of design are needed for the layout, the icon, the logo, and etc. When studying anatomy, one will have to incorporate both skills of scientific knowledge and artistry to master the subject. We should extract ourselves from the beliefs that if one likes art, they should only do the arts. As much as I love drawing, I've always found animals endearing, and I've loved raising things. Whenever I walk into a store, I wander over to the small exhibition of animals and fish, marveling at them until my parents extracted me from my days. I love marine animals and watch belugas in aquariums for hours on end, frequently catching colds. I also love conducting intricate experiments with friends, reveling in the self-satisfaction I get when I succeed in extricating results. I love literature and fiction. I love plotting my own characters and writing my own stories. I feel that it is extremely unfair that all my passions have to be summarized into one specific major. Humans are intricate and complex beings that cannot have only one interest. All humans are different, and once we learn to accept our differences and express them through art, I believe we will continue to evolve. Although humans may not surpass AI in technical skill or efficiency, our distinct advantage lies in our humanity, a quality that inherently defines us and requires no effort to demonstrate. Now, I want to remind everyone out there, especially those of you who are dreaming of a future splashing in the paints, that pursuing a career in the arts, like any other major, comes with its difficulties. But with passion, resilience, and a willingness to adapt, it is entirely possible to succeed and make a meaningful impact.